It started with a boy who didn't wake up after school. By the time they zipped up the body bag, 4 more overdoses had hit the neighborhood, and each one had sat in Malik's chair the week before. Malik Dorsey, 54, is the quiet, respected owner of Next Cut Barbershop, a staple in the heart of Newark for over 20 years. To most, he's a father figure, a man of few words with steady hands and sharp edges. A black man who survived the streets, the system, and somehow still gives free cuts to kids before school starts. But Malik isn't just a barber. He's a retired DEA agent pulled back into the game to investigate a synthetic opioid ring that's killing his neighborhood, not through street dealers, but through doctors, clinics, and a new designer pill spreading like gospel. Each haircut, each whispered conversation is intel. And this time, it's personal. One of the victims was his godson. What no one knows is, Malik is tracking the suppliers, the patterns, the laundering. And if he doesn't act fast, the next body might be someone even closer. Before we expose the secrets buried in this case, make sure to subscribe and turn on the notification bell, because in this world of lies, betrayal, and missing files, one click might be your only way to the truth. Now, let's begin. It was the kind of summer evening that smelled like split cigars and engine oil. The kind where the hum of box fans and the sharp hiss of tires on pavement filled the air between row houses and corner bodegas. Next Cut had its door wide open like always. The bell above it hadn't worked since '08, but nobody needed it. The regulars knew the code. Dap Malik at the door, nod to old Cliff in the corner, and speak only when Malik speaks first. "Yo, Uncle Malik," said Jared, 15 and skinny like a clothes hanger, sliding into the cracked red vinyl chair. "You got me today?" "You on time?" Malik asked without looking up. He was finishing a shape-up on a man who worked sanitation, skin still streaked with heat and sweat. Jared grinned, lifting his phone. "Come on now, it's 4:28. I'm 2 minutes early." Malik gave the ghost of a smirk. "Then sit your bony behind down and stop talking so loud. Ain't a concert in here." Jared chuckled, sliding into the second chair as Malik dusted off his clippers. "What you want this time?" "Let me guess. You saw something on TikTok again." Nah, Jared said, lifting his chin. Low fade, crisp edge. "Trina look clean for the yearbook shoot tomorrow." Malik studied the boy for a second. There was something jittery in his energy, not like usual. His foot tapped too fast. Eyes a little wide. He smelled faintly of cough syrup. "You feeling all right?" Jared blinked. "Yeah, why?" Malik didn't answer. He just turned the chair and clicked on the clippers. By 8 o'clock that night, Malik was locking up the shop. The sky had gone purple over the rooftops, and the streetlights buzzed on like sleepy bees. Cliff had gone home. The chairs were stacked, the mirrors wiped. Malik moved through the silence like he always did. Routine, precise, calm. He never played music after hours. Said it made the place feel like a ghost was dancing. He pulled the trash bag from the can, knotted it, and stepped outside, just in time to hear the scream. It came from across the street, near the bus bench. A girl's scream, high and broken. Then he saw her. Tasha, Jared's cousin, kneeling, crying. A crowd was already gathering. He dropped the bag and jogged across the street, heart thudding like a war drum. Jared was slumped on the bench, mouth open, lips tinted blue. His phone lay face down on the sidewalk, still buzzing with unread messages. Tasha sobbed. He said he just felt tired. He said he was going to nap before dinner. I went to wake him up, and Malik didn't need to check the pulse. He already knew. The ambulance would come. The sirens would wail. The white sheet would cover his face. But what Malik noticed, what no one else did, was the empty candy wrapper in Jared's pocket. Not candy. A pressed pill. Designer. It was happening again. The next morning, Malik stood in front of his bathroom mirror, shaving carefully. His eyes were darker than usual, not with grief, with calculation. He opened the drawer below the sink and pulled out the black case. He hadn't touched it in 9 years. Inside, his old D badge, 2 burner phones, a USB with contacts still active, a picture of Jared at age 9, sitting in his chair for his first real cut. Malik zipped up his jacket. Then he opened his phone and texted a number without a name. "It's Dorsey. I'm in. There's a new body. And I'm starting with Dr. Steele's pain clinic." The Steele Wellness and Pain Clinic didn't look like trouble from the outside. It sat in a gentrified strip plaza, wedged between a gluten-free bakery and a yoga studio, the kind of place with pastel signage and tinted windows that promised holistic healing. But Malik had seen this disguise before. Fronts didn't always wear hoodies. Sometimes they wore white coats. He parked his silver Crown Vic across the street, deliberately beat up, deliberately forgettable. From the passenger seat, he pulled a black leather notebook and a capped pen. The badge wasn't with him. Not yet, not unless it had to be. He watched the front door. Patients came in by the dozen, mostly young, mostly black or Latino, some limping, others just faking it well. Most left in less than 15 minutes. No x-rays, no exams. Just paper bags and sleepy eyes. "Pill mill," he murmured. "Damn efficient one." Inside the barber shop, Malik kept his walls tight, never told customers what he was working on. But when Dr. Steele's name came up in a conversation last month, something felt off. "I'm saying, Burr," one customer had said, "I twisted my ankle last fall, and Doc Steele hooked me up quick. Gave me 30 blues off rip. Didn't even touch my leg." Malik had said nothing, just nodded, logged it. Now, walking into the clinic under a different name, Morris Delaney. Back pain, long-term construction. He limped slightly, hand on his hip, hat low over his brow. The receptionist didn't even ask for ID. Just a clipboard and a smile too wide to be genuine. "New patient?" she asked. He nodded. "Yeah, just moved up from Trenton." She tilted her head. "Cash or insurance?" "Cash." A pause. Her eyes flicked toward the hallway. Then back to the form. "You'll see Nurse Jenkins first. And Dr. Steele, if needed." The waiting room had lavender walls and jazz music playing low, like an apology. 2 men dozed in chairs. One woman cradled her arm like it was broken, but her manicure was fresh and unchipped. Malik watched everything. He always had. Even before the D. When the nurse called his name, he followed her. Tall, brown-skinned, mid-40s, tired around the eyes but efficient. "Take off your shirt," she said, gesturing to the table. He obeyed. "Where's the pain?" "Lower back. Right side. Been acting up since I fell off a scaffold 6 months back." She pressed around, barely touched. "What's your pain level?" 8 out of 10, Malik lied. She scribbled something, then glanced up. "Ever had oxycodone before?" There it was. No MRI, no test, no scan. Straight to the script. 15 minutes later, Dr. Steele strolled in. Tall, light-skinned, salt and pepper beard. Rolex under his lab coat. Voice smooth like a politician. "Mr. Delaney," he greeted warmly. "Looks like our nurse said you've been dealing with pain a while. You ever try perks? Oxys?" Malik leaned back slightly. Played humble. "Only when I could afford it. Street stuff. I'd rather get right, legit." Steele smiled, nodded, then leaned in slightly. "We don't judge here. We just want to help you manage the pain. Efficiently." Malik's eyes didn't blink. "Appreciate that." Steele pulled a small pad from his coat, scribbled quickly. "This'll get you 30 tabs. Come back next week if you need more. We do follow-ups, Cash only. Quick and clean. Malik reached for the script, but noted the angle of the doctor's Rolex, the name on the script pad, and more importantly, the number code written lightly beneath the dosage. It wasn't standard. It was a tracker. A distribution code. They weren't just prescribing pills. They were inventorying them. That night, Malik sat in the back room of the barber shop, the lights off. Just him, a burner phone, and the files. He uploaded the script info, scanned the code, and sent it to a D contact only listed as Vic. The reply came within minutes. That's batch 7C7. Known combo. Fentanyl-based, Chinese origin. Laced. 3 OD cases tied to that code already. Steel's connected. Keep eyes on distribution. And Malik, don't get pulled in too deep. He set the phone down and stared at the wall. A faded photo of him and Jared was tacked just above the clipper cabinet. The boy had trusted him. Had laughed in his chair just hours before dying. Malik hadn't seen the signs soon enough, but he would know. This wasn't just a case anymore. It was a reckoning. 2 blocks west of the barber shop, the neighborhood shifted. The bodegas turned into boarded-up buildings. The corner boys came out earlier in the day, and Malik knew every crack in the sidewalk. That's why he noticed the bike. A red mongoose, chrome handlebars. Flashy. Too flashy for a 12-year-old in this part of Newark. The kid riding it had on Jordan 6 South, a puffer vest in July, and a heavy gold chain that looked real. He posted up outside Gwen's groceries, playing it cool, not even sweating. Malik watched from the car. The boy leaned against the mail bin and waited. A woman in a blue nurse's uniform approached, spoke softly, slipped him a folded 20. He reached into his vest, pulled something small, barely visible. She took it fast, walked off faster. Another came 5 minutes later. Same rhythm. Different face. By the 4th exchange, Malik stepped out of the car. He didn't walk up right away. He took the long way, circled the corner, crossed near the old playground, and looped around back toward Gwen's. As he passed the boy, he called out like a tired uncle, casual but sharp. "Hey, you know who I am?" The boy tensed. He was young, but not stupid. His hand dropped toward his waistband out of instinct. Malik kept walking, calm, hands in his jacket. "I ain't the cops. If I was, you'd be on the ground by now." The boy hesitated, then muttered, "Then who are you?" Malik turned back slightly, meeting his eyes. "I'm the man that gave your older brother his first fade before graduation." That landed. The boy blinked. "Tavon?" "Yeah, back when he had braces and a baby fro." The boy's body shifted. Less threat, more curiosity. Malik lowered his voice. "You ain't him, so don't try to be." He nodded toward the vest. "What's in there? Pills?" The boy didn't answer. "I already know. I seen your customers. Some of them were in my chair this week." "I ain't doing nothing," the kid snapped. "I'm just holding for somebody." "That's the line they always use," Malik said. "Until somebody drops dead, and you holding the reason why." The boy's eyes shifted. A flicker of doubt. A ripple of fear. Malik stepped closer. Not threatening, but heavy with presence. "What's your name?" "Kamari." "How old are you?" 13. "You go to East Side still?" "Sometimes." Malik nodded. "Look, Kamari, I ain't here to jam you up. I'm here to stop you from being the next one they bury." Kamari looked away, then muttered, "It ain't me pushing it. I just run what Doc give to D." "D?" Malik's tone barely changed. "D who?" Kamari bit his lip. He looked both ways, like the wind might be listening. Then whispered, "Big D, from the old car wash. He the one picking up bulk. I just move a few for him. He said I'd make fast money, that's all. How many bags you carrying right now?" "2. Give them to me." Kamari hesitated. Malik raised an eyebrow. Either me, or whoever finds you when a body hits and they trace it back. You think D gonna protect you, or leave you in a cell? After a long pause, the boy reached into his vest and pulled out 2 tiny Ziploc bags, each with a single blue pill. Same size, same shape as the ones found on Jared. Malik took them gently, wrapped them in a napkin, and slid them into his pocket. Go home, he said. Now, don't let me see you out here again. Kamari lingered for a second. What you gonna do with it? Malik looked at the bag, then back at him. I'm gonna stop this mess at the root, not the leaves. That night, Malik dropped the pills at a dead drop location off Bergen Street, an old storage locker beneath a tire shop that only a few D veterans knew about. He used burner phone number 2, texted Vic, got 2 baggies, street level, from a minor. D from South Ward is your plug. Might be connected to Steele's batches. Run the lab? Fast. This one's spreading. The reply was almost instant. Already 3 ODs this week. 2 traced back to the South Ward. D is known. Slippery. But we're watching. Stay low. Malik, you sure you want to keep going? You're not active duty anymore. This ain't your fight now. Malik stared at the message, then sent his reply, It is now. Across town, inside a dim car wash turned trap house, Big D scrolled through his phone and grinned at a photo. It was Jared alive, smiling, holding up a blue pill with the caption, "Bout to fly," a trophy for D's digital wall. He sipped lean and leaned back, not knowing that Malik had just started circling, not knowing what was coming. 3 nights later, the storm came. Not rain, a different kind. The kind that brewed quietly across the streets, in glances and whispers, in phones and bad intentions. Malik stood outside Next Cut Barbershop, the red neon sign blinking behind him like a pulse. He wore all black. Inside his coat, a recorder, a wire, and one last chance at a clean takedown. Tonight, Big D was supposed to meet him, and Malik had made sure the bait was sweet enough to bite. It started earlier that afternoon. Malik had gone back to Kamari, told him to deliver a message to D. Old had got the next shipment direct from Steele, stronger stuff, cleaner cuts. Wants to make a handoff, just him and D. No middlemen. Tonight, midnight. No funny business. Kamari hesitated at first, but Malik had promised him something no one else ever had. A way out. A new bike. His brother's scholarship application for prep school, already printed. I'll do it, the boy said. But you better not get shot, old man. Malik had laughed once. Just once. Not tonight. Now midnight came like a slow cough. The back of the barbershop was dark, except for one flickering alley light. Malik stood under it, hands in his jacket, heart steady. He could hear his own breathing, but also the soft hum of the receiver hidden behind the brick wall. The D had him wired, lev, waiting. A black Escalade pulled up. Big D stepped out. Massive. Gold fronts. Diamond-studded watch. He walked like the sidewalk owed him rent. You the barber? He asked, voice low, lips twisted in suspicion. Malik nodded. You the runner? D smirked. Nah, I'm the boss. They faced each other in the narrow alley, brick to brick, shadow to shadow. You got the goods? D asked. Malik reached into his coat slowly, pulled out a tightly sealed Ziploc. Inside, dummy pills, D-issued replicas. Steele's latest batch, Malik said. Uncut. 5 times stronger. I got more, but not if you play stupid. D took the bag, held it up to the light. You real confident for a man with no backup. I cut hair for a living. You learn how to keep razors close. D laughed until Malik said, Jared was a kid. You remember him? D's smile froze. Who? The one you posted. The one that died with your poison in his pocket. D's eyes narrowed. You a cop? No, Malik said, taking one step closer. Worse, I'm the last man you want still breathing after you kill a kid I raised like blood. In a blur, Dee reached for his waistband. But Malik was faster. The hidden blade flicked from under his sleeve. A short combat knife, silent, precise. Malik drove it upward, slicing Dee's wrist before the gun could clear the belt. The weapon clattered to the concrete. Dee swung wildly, grazing Malik's jaw. But Malik didn't stop. 20 years in Dee. 10 years in silence. Every cut, every overdose, every funeral poured into one move. He swept Dee's legs, slammed him against the dumpster, and whispered, "You sold death to kids." Then, red and blue lights lit the alley. Sirens, doors slamming, agents shouting. "Dee, hands where we can see 'em." Malik stepped back, hands raised, breathing hard. Dee writhed on the ground, bleeding and snarling. "You set me up?" Malik didn't answer. He just looked him in the eye and said, "You don't get to call it a hustle when babies die." 1 month later, Kamari was gone, off to a charter school in North Carolina. Malik had helped fill out the application himself, bought him the ticket, gave him his brother's old backpack and a fresh fade before the bus ride. The barber shop was quiet now. A new plaque hung on the wall. In memory of Jared Tate, 2008-2024, the boy who smiled even on stormy days. The community knew the truth now, about Steele, about the pills, about Dee. The arrests had shaken the whole block. But in the aftermath, something else grew, like grass pushing through concrete. Mothers stopped strangers in the street to ask what their kids were using. Churches opened their basements to counseling groups. And every Friday, Malik cut hair for free, no questions asked. One evening, a young man came in, maybe 18, nervous, fidgety, said he'd heard Malik gave good fades. Malik waved him to the chair. "You a cop or something?" The boy asked, half joking. Malik smiled faintly in the mirror. "No, just a barber." And with that, the clippers buzzed to life again, steady as a heartbeat, just like always. The end. This story wasn't just about one case. It was about how quickly truth can vanish when assumptions replace evidence, and how unchecked authority becomes a weapon instead of a shield. It was about fear, how it twists judgment, silences witnesses, and turns policy into harm. But more than anything, it was about dignity and the fight to hold on to it. For every family who never got the apology, for every name that was buried under suspicion instead of cleared by justice, for every child forced to grow up the moment someone else decided they looked guilty. So if this story made you feel something, don't let it end with sympathy. Let it push you to ask harder questions, to challenge what's hidden, and to care before the sirens start. You don't need a badge to speak the truth. You just need to know when silence becomes complicated. If this story spoke to you, like, share, and comment. Because conversations lead to awareness. And awareness? That's where justice begins.